A brilliant day to you all, guys. Welcome to the very first episode of Crypto Compass. This is going to be a series where each and every single day I will be giving you an update on Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency markets, sharing with you what I am looking for throughout the day. And so you can analyze along with me, cross-reference your own charts, etc, etc. And as the series is gonna go on, we're gonna build on things, on top of things, and adding more complexity. I guess I will start off with me not remembering the name of my own series, where I posted a tweet, see you tomorrow at Golden Compass, seemingly forgetting about the fact that I named my series Crypto Compass. So that's a little joke out of the way already. And with that, let's just move over to the chart, where I want to begin with one of the anticipations that I did during my latest live stream. I want to show you a really short clip to just start off with. Getting that fake out would be, for me, the ultimate opportunity to compound on that trade if the reaction is given. So what I want to see is I want to see loads of volume. I want to see a lot of people getting super fearful, a lot of people shorting, and then I want to see them being trapped. That will provide a great opportunity for me where I'm willing to take on heavy risk. Right, so basically now it's Monday, and within this first episode, oh boy, did we had this beautiful price action. So I first want to just extend into that really shortly. I want to keep these updates really short and precise, because these updates are meant to prepare you for the day that is ahead of you, which is the reason why I'm going to release these updates earlier on in the day before the real trading session in New York starts. So you can prepare yourself, cross-reference, use it for your education, and potentially use that to make good trades in the trading competition, which is, by the way, also going to start today. Simply go follow the link if you haven't done so. Registration is still open. Even though the competition starts today, you can still register for the competition until the end of the week. So far, I think we have quite a few participants, so I think it's going to be very fun, very educational, and all around just really nice. Right, so without further ado, I'm just going to go straight ahead and kick off this series with doing my analysis. Me looking for that ultimate low being taken out, where I wanted to see a lot of volume coming in, a lot of shorts getting trapped, and I just want to update you a little bit on how I compounded my swing trade, even though this series is more focused on day trading, but we'll ease into that. So let's begin. First of all, let's simply mark out the low over here, over this entire midterm time frame range that we have been in since the 17th of March. What we have done on the daily time frame, we simply have busted through the low, we've challenged all these lows, and over the weekend we managed to reclaim a lot of important levels, midterm time frame levels, giving us way for a potential bounce to occur. And we're simply gonna go from there. This will also explain you why I did not compound my long at the very low, but I actually compounded my long at 26,400, as you can see here on this screenshot. By the time I took this screenshot, which was yesterday, where the current price was set at $27,000.57, now 27.4. You can see that I entered my trade at 26,400. So why did I do that over there? Let me really quickly walk you through that, because the ingredients that I was looking for was a breakdown to the low. I wanted to see a lot of fear coming into the market. I want to see a lot of people trying to short the breaking head and shoulders to the downside. So let's just really take a close look into that. Because what happened over here, we busted through, backtested it, and had our final drop. And this is also, by the way, a little bit of a funny thing, because I tweeted out just before that happened, I actually tweeted out the following, where I said, you know, I'm not long yet because price is still pretty much looking weak. I'm not seeing all these signs that I literally just gave out. And literally just a few minutes later, we had this other drop giving me an opportunity where I would be looking for further progression of the price. So I was jokingly saying like, oh, maybe, you know, I should have a place to update more frequently. So that is something I'm actually taking into consideration. Anyway, not gonna dwell on that too far because, you know, I just want to cover the price section for today. So let's get into it. Obviously, this is the first episode, right? So as you can see, I'm trying to find the vibe here. Having some extra information that I have been sharing with you in the beginning of the video. The following videos are gonna be really short, precise, and concise. No nonsense, no BS videos, right? So keep that in mind. It's just the first episode. All right, let's dive straight into it. So dropping below the level, having that bounce, backtesting it, did not give me a good entry for entering the long. A few minutes later, we actually had a beautiful piece of price action where we attempted to take out the low and actually closed really back into this local range, after which we consolidate a little bit further. And the reason why I decided to compound my long here, albeit this is on a different account, fresh trade, I do view this as one big single trade. So what did we see over here? So this is, as you can see, I'm charting now on the BitGet chart. These are the inverse perpetuals, which I will be using for the coming weeks, most likely to trade from as well. Because I like to have Bitcoin as collateral. I will also be looking at the USDT chart. I am using Bybit order flow for now. However, as the series is going to progress, this might be subject to change. But for now, we do have information that we need, because what did I wanted to see? I wanted to see shorts opening up during the breakout to the downside. And that is exactly what happened here. So this is the moment where we really started to break downwards. And you can see that loads of shorts actually started getting, started opening up. As a matter of fact, it started over here. So this is where our drop started. In the evening, we can see that loads of shorts are opening. You know, then it got squeezed a little bit, especially the late ones. And then we had that final drop where we can see the big bubbles liquidating loads and loads of people, mostly longs over here. And then we started off with actually getting that beautiful squeeze to the upside. Now, the reason why I decided to compound on my trade was as simply as follows. Because we were at the time backtesting the value area low of the entire range. Allow me to show you, which actually happened over here. Right? Apologies. I am talking about the low of the range at first, right? This is in this section still. This is still in this section. And this led me to believe that the initial squeeze followed directly by people trying to short the backtest of the back of the range, confirmed for me that yes, indeed, a lot of people are really now trying to short the breakout to the downside, albeit on a low time frame backtest. For me, that was the final sign where we saw 14 million shorts coming straight into the market. This was for me the perfect opportunity with a very clear validation of the price of the trade idea as well, where I simply took the opportunity and, like I said, be willing to put on heavy risk on the trade. And thus far, we have done and progressed brilliantly. And that brings us pretty much to today. We've busted back into the big range over here. As you can see, let me pop up some levels. We have actually also now attempted to reclaim the volume levels of the midterm timeframe range. Keep in mind, I am referring still now to midterm timeframe levels. And hold on, we are going to tune into the intraday levels shortly. So currently, that is what we have done since Friday and over the weekend. Short summary. Drop down in terms of a head and shoulders, had the backtest, loads of shorts opening up here as well. Then we took out these lows once again, a lot of shorts opening at these lows as well. Then we had our first squeeze, first little short squeeze where loads and loads of shorts opened up as well on the backtest of that so-called breakout, which is where I have found my entry point. And since then, we've busted back through in the market structure part of the range, hovered there for over the weekend, and now we are fully back into the midterm time frame range, with also some actual volume levels having been reclaimed. And as you can see, this is on the BitGet chart, very well respected. Testing, got rejected, back into the range, attempted again, busted through, back tested, and now we are further advancing to the upside. So what am I looking for simply today? For today, these levels is important to know the context on what we are looking for. However, for today, I'm going to frame price action a little bit different. With the context being that we have faked out of the range thus far. This can change later on in the day, but for now, we have seemingly faked out of a midterm time frame range, opening up for me the possibility to see potential further upside overall, ultimately looking at the $30,000 again. Is this realistic to expect on a single day? Not necessarily. Can it happen? Yes. Therefore, we need to be aware of it. So let me just simply pop up some horizontal levels, some levels that I think are very important to look for, which is once again this $29,000 to $30,000. As a matter of fact, this 29,200 to 29,500 ish is way more important than $30,000 in my opinion now. And the reason for that is that first of all, we have a weekly level now over here. We have a daily level, but we also, if I am not mistaken, we also have a golden pocket set at around that level, and we have simply a value area high of the entire range set over there, making this a very important region to reclaim. And since if this is indeed a fake out, this would be the first major checkpoint. Albeit this one is also very important, but that is what I'm going to focus on next. So let me just zoom in a little bit and remove this pool because I want to keep the chart clean. So let's zoom out a little bit, or zoom in a little bit, remove the higher time frame levels, and simply look at what I am looking for today. Simply, I am looking for the following to happen. Currently, I think we are simply in a potential sideways range for the day. For me, really biggest level of the day is simply 28,400, and the most important level is 25,700. My expectation is that today it's likely that we're gonna move within this range, and thus it can be traded, you know. So range trading strategy, in my opinion, is most likely the best way of approaching today, and that is what I am going to simply look for. Now, obviously, this can always advance, but let me just build you some levels. Because currently we're simply set at the middle of the range. We are at resistance. As you can see, we are literally in that golden pocket over here. Now, if I put on some other midterm time frame levels as well, as you can see, we do have these levels coming up into here. We have local levels where we have these highs over here corresponding with midterm time frame levels as well. So generally, I would say this is a nice framework to move within today. And simply, as if we break either to the upside, I think is more likely, then we simply have levels next. Personally, I'm just going to take this level by level. So while I'm aware of the higher time frame and while I have compounded a big swing trade, on day trading I'm approaching it totally differently. So at the moment we're simply just hovering in a potential middle of the range. Now I would like to see price advance and test these levels, because that is where I might be looking to simply trade this short in terms of range trading strategies, and simply trade it back down for a rotation to the lows. And I would be looking to do a similar thing should we drop to the downside and then to the upside, albeit caution has to be taken, because if you look at simply the market structure, currently the market structure is just down. So if we start dropping from here on out, I will be a lot more cautious in actually taking along. Therefore, I would prefer to see that full rotation first to the upside, where I would be looking for a rejection. The conservative entry would be a change of market structure, where I would be looking to short and close out of the entire trade simply at the bottom of the range. That is simply what I would be looking for. Currently in the middle of the range. Let me pop up some volume levels, some intraday levels over here. Currently, we are pretty much above all the intraday levels. So we are above the daily open, we are above the VWAP, albeit it's early in the day. The volume still has to come in later today. So this obviously is going to change. And therefore, for now, especially since it's Monday, I'm just going to focus on the more technical analysis part of things in terms of not necessarily volume so much. So simply put, short summary of everything that I'm looking for today. Currently, we are attempting to create a range. We are currently set at resistance where one could potentially look for a retracement, potentially a reversal, right? So if volume is going to come in and lots of shorts are opening up and nobody is there to actually absorb those, then I expect further downside. However, at the moment, the probability is not necessarily super high of that, because after all, we did have so far a fake out, and we are seemingly reclaiming that range. However, for that to get more power and to really say like, oh, this is more like a midterm time frame new low, we really need to start getting back above these levels and ultimately reclaim that 29,200 to 500 levels, which is the reason why this is such an important level in the first place. So that would give much more conviction on the higher time frame. So until then, we're gonna have to work with the information that we got in front of us, where I would be simply looking for that very first checkpoint here at the midterm time frame POC. And by the way, I'm completely forgetting that if we simply pull this one pivot back, so taking this more from a broader perspective, in other words, since where the latest drop started all the way on the higher time frame, we do have also a 618 level, we have these highs over here, and overall we have this point of control over here. Now on the daily time frame, it's very possible that we're gonna, smack through it a little bit, and that it might be a little bit less respected, because it already has been, in this case it actually did respect very well, but you can see that you bounce really small, you go through, you back test it pretty cleanly, and then so I would not expect something like this immediately to happen, right? But it's good for context to have this POC, at least to be aware of it. So very, 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 very simply put, what I am looking for today is simply an increase in price where I would be looking to short a potential local range. I'm looking for a reaction at the highs of about $28,300. Currently, we're in progress of forming the range, and therefore for me it does not make sense to jump into a trade right away right now. So I'm going to wait for further advancement in price, preferably an increase in price first, because that is for me the cleanest setup. Of course, if we don't get the signs of a short, I'm not going to for sure short there. However, I do want to see a proper rejection. First, I do want to see what price action is going to do there today. That being said, of course, if we blast through the level, then I am simply going to look for the next level to look simply for a similar reaction. If we do get interesting price action there, if we do actually start seeing traders being trapped, for example, traders being really greedy, and then actually start dropping, change that market structure, then I could still take a short, albeit a little bit higher up. Which actually could be even better, because if I'm looking to short, then obviously I'm going to be wanting to short as high as I potentially can. Now for the downside, intraday support, well, obviously it's going to be the VWAP. But in terms of more standard technical analysis, let's say if we start rejecting over here, then I guess you could say that this daily level, this freshly made daily level now, is the nearest support, which is set at around 26,800, more or less. So that is pretty much all there is to it for now. That is what I will be looking for today. So final summary, and then that will conclude the very first episode of Crypto Compass series. And tomorrow I will be back to you once again. Final conclusion, simply midterm time frame. We have broken out of a midterm time frame range, or faked out, better said. We are attempting to reclaim those levels. However, as we are in the process of doing so, it is still fairly uncertain to say whether this has been a potential low, even though it was worth a trade. It's hard to say at this point in time that this was the definitive low. Meanwhile, while Bitcoin is figuring out what to do on the midterm time frame, we simply have a potential range going on here, which I'm simply going to look to trade. Now, we are simply working on a potential rotation where I would be looking for a reaction to the upside of that potential range that is set at around that $28,000 level. Can be more or less $100 higher, $100 lower. Looking more at it as a region, and from there on out, if the trade is given, then we could be looking for a rotation simply to the downside, where you could be looking for that first initial reaction over here at the daily level at the 26,800, and ultimately, if we do not manage to keep that level as support, then simply the next level is 25,800, where you could be looking for either a sign of strength or a sign of weakness once again. So hopefully I brought it to you very, very, very clearly. Would love to hear your feedback in the comments if you like this format. And stay tuned for tomorrow, because that is where the second episode obviously will release again in a similar fashion. Going to really keep it short, powerful, packed with information. Hope you've enjoyed. Have a really good day. Keep your risk management in check and trade sensibly. Cheers, everybody. Bye.